dobry, Poznan! Yes, indeed, we are back here at the Continental Rumble. Already seen 2 games go down, so we've got to take care of who's taking 3rd place. What's on the line, you might say? How about honor? How about pride, the bragging rights, and of course, figuring out who takes more of the lion's share of that $100,000 that's on the line. Our first team right now is a team that was tipped for favorite. They've definitely got something to be proved. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and join me in welcoming to the stage Navi. Sir, how are you feeling right now?
Bad. Not great, not great.
It was a bit of an upset. What do you do after that?
We did too many errors, false, and but I think now we have forgotten about, and I think we are ready to match.
Ready for the match?
Ready for the match.
Well, we're happy to have you. I say, guys, the best of luck to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, Wielkie brawa, Navi! You guys can join your players and get ready. Now, of course, they need an opponent. And this opponent, with a great name, I'd like to say, everybody, one more time, Wielkie brawa for Not So Serious. Sir, maybe the nerves were against you earlier. How are you feeling now?
We are feeling good. The first time on LAN, too much stress, but we are feeling good and we will do the best.
You will indeed do your best, and do not forget these guys did battle their way through the Gold Series to get there. Navi's against you. Does that play into your mind at all?
We are training with Navi all the time, and the Navi is our best team to train.
They definitely are. I can tell that these guys are ready. Gentlemen, please start getting ready. And one more time, please put your hands together for Not So Serious. This crowd has been absolutely fantastic throughout, and I'm sure that they will continue to do so and support these guys because there is something on the line. And as he said, the nerves of that first LAN probably gone away now. Now they're thinking about, is it 4th place or 3rd place? Standing in their way, Navi. There's lots to discuss. And of course, the man who can always tell us what he's thinking and his merry gang, that's you, Luke.
Thank you, Sean. Now, we can tell you what we're thinking, doesn't mean we know what's going on, as clearly proven with the last round. Now, we are seeing Navi again, and, well, I'm not sure what to think of it. They were playing bad. You can see in their face they know they played badly. Slide, I've never seen him seem so upset. The guy was straight-faced, slightly red, tight-lipped. I think that guy's upset. What do you think?
I think they should all be pretty upset after that game. It should feel bad because they played bad.
That you go there.
Hey, I need some. I'm mining the salt right here.
But as you guys said, he's the one that Russ. You said he's the one who had the good game, and everyone else had bad. So I think he felt worse because he felt like he was let down by his teammates. Now that can cause him to go on tilt. Now he's not a player to be known for that, but could we see that?
I think, yes, like you said, Slide was actually the only guy who wasn't making huge mistakes. He showed a really nice performance, no matter what his teammates were doing. But if I was in his situation, I'd also be pretty upset, actually, with my team mainly, because if I play really well myself and my team just fucks up and we lose because of that, that would be really annoying.
It would be really annoying. In fact, Kazna crew have players who also get very upset if things happen. We all do. We all have players like that who are like, come on guys, what's going on? And they get frustrated and then they stop thinking about the team and think more about their players. It's such a common occurrence within all pro players, and it's actually what makes the teams from average to great, or even from good to amazing, if they can keep calm when the chips are against them and things are going wrong.
It's also different with online and LAN. People are usually calmer online because they're in their own environment. So if you have an emotional, vulnerable player and you put him at a LAN and things don't go well, then it stacks up the effect.
It amplifies.
Yeah, it amplifies the effect by so much. You can see it in some cases where a team just goes complete tilt. That's why LAN is so awesome. Underdogs try winning, big teams losing. It's always fun to watch.
What's the opinions of people at home? Is anyone letting us know what they feel?
Well, the vote has been open since before the break and will keep open until we enter the second map, so people get involved at this point. And of course, we do have some kind of in-between results. It's 83% for Na'Vi, so the faith in Na'Vi hasn't been broken yet.
No, not so serious. Didn't exactly perform great either, so it's kind of like you got a bad choice and a bad choice, and who's going to win? And Na'Vi have a history. So.
And Na'Vi comes from a devastating loss, so the morale of the team must be really low, even if it's Na'Vi. I mean, the most professional team out there in the World of Tanks universe, you might call them, but still, if you come out from such a huge loss, I talked to Deluxe and he's like, damn, we played bad. I don't even know what happened out there. So I feel like Not So Serious has their foot in the door right now.
Smiling. Huh?
Yeah, look at it. Look
what
at
Melly
them.
said.
They don't have to lose anything. They can't lose at this point.
Na'Vi should be more upset than NSS because NSS had nothing to prove. If they won, it would be good for them, but they didn't have anything to prove. While Na'Vi, we expect things from them and they don't deliver. So
just sort of this though. NSS got here by defeating the Hellraisers, ranked #1 in the world at the last grand finals. What is it if they take out Na'Vi as well? So if anything, they're like, all right, guys.
Well, they said they've trained against them, so they pretty much know how Na'Vi is going to play. I mean, maybe they come up with some nice counter strats for what Na'Vi is going to do. Na'Vi is still vulnerable to counter strats, just like any team.
But I think that Na'Vi is professional enough to still play well now. Like in the third place, the side on the Grand Finals, we played versus Na'Vi and lost 5-0 to them. But even after that Hellraiser loss, which was probably even worse than this loss here, because Grand Finals were actually a lot bigger than this event, they still managed to play concentrated against us. They weren't giving up at all. That's why I also think that Na'Vi will do this again here. They want to get at least the third place. It's like also a thing of honor. I mean, we have the both Russian teams now, from the two teams who came from the Russian region, playing against each other, and like the winner here would be also, so to say, the best current Russian team.
That's a good point.
Half the lineup is used to beating Na'Vi though, because they're from SC6 and they've actually beaten Na'Vi before. So,
but I mean, still, the Russian community must be really behind this, because it's like, okay, Na'Vi have a lot of pride and there's going to be a lot of salt pouring onto this if they lose. It's like Na'Vi fanboys have a reputation, especially losing, they're not taking it well.
I think we're going to have to hire some extra trucks for all the salt.
For sure. The chat will probably go.
At least we won't have problems in winter this time.
Oh,
that's an issue on German roads.
That's true.
Winter is round the corner. Winter is coming, I have to say.
Please no.
Right, so this is a best of 9 format still. This one is first to 5 points still. It's not the finals yet, and we do have between this match and the end a show match. And we will give details about that a bit later, because we're still focusing on this one. Now, we do have the picks and bans. Ruster.
Yes, exactly. Na'Vi banned Lost City and Mines, while NSS banned Lakeville and Himmel. Then first map will be Steps. Na'Vi picked defense on it. And the second map will be Ruinberg, where NSS picked defense. Now again, like we already had the situation earlier, already Na'Vi picking Steps defense, because it's a really a map where you can defend quite easily. Like you can camp there, and when you are 2-0 up, you have that advantage of knowing you can now, when you attack, you're 2-0 up, you can like try out stuff. And on the other way around though, you're 2-0 back and then you have to defend, then you have this pressure, you have to win your defenses.
Kind of surprised, well, not really surprised, Na'Vi being that professional. They lost 3-1 on Ruinberg, they're like, we'll play Ruinberg again. They just did the same bans as the match before. They're like, we'll play Ruinberg again. That's how confident they are in their play, though, even though they just lost on that map.
Well, as I think Melly pointed out earlier, it's like if you lose on a map like that and everyone's expecting you to win, and how do you analyze a loss where you've just thrown it all away? You've thrown it all away and it's like, oh, things were bad, and Deluxe is like, oh, I'm sorry, I lost. We played bad. Well, there's nothing you can do. It's not like, oh, we should change our tactics. It's just you play bad, don't play that bad again. Stop missing your shots, just play better. So changing tactics doesn't change anything if you played bad as an individual rather than your tactics.
I think their tactics were fine. They just need to, at an individual level, stop making so many mistakes and just play better. I mean, Ruinberg is one of their better maps. They just didn't play it out like they're supposed to do. So, I mean, I hope they can prove us that they're actually good on Ruinberg. I mean, I don't want to see like...
I want to draw that back. Let's prove that they're actually good. Ooh. Like, their tactics were sound, as always, but their individuals, they had a 50% miss rate or something like that?
So
their shots were not connected.
They also had some really bad luck when they were pushing north as attackers. Kiriloid got double-tracked, ST54, so that was just bad luck as well. So.
Okay, let's throw some predictions out. Melly, you can go first this time.
No, the community always proves me wrong, but I also go with Ruster. Navi won't do the same mistakes again, and they will show up and they will deliver us a great game. And I'm tempted to say 5-1, to be honest.
That's
like it's like
guess.
Poking the beehive, like making them mad and wild. So.
They do like bees, black and
oh, true. Wow, that wasn't even intended.
Okay, yours.
5-2 for Navi.
5-2?
5-0.
5-0. Boom. I'm going to go for NSS for one reason. They got better camo. I like the icy camo. It looks cool. So I've proven I have no idea what's going on. So I'm just going to say NSS is going to win 5-4. Why not? Down to the last bite.
But going for a team camo, people on Facebook.com/WGLEU, you have the chance of voting how you like, well, of telling us how you like our team camos. Just choose one of the answers, and there's a little feedback field right below. And the feedback, what could we do better with those team camos? You know, probably. Head over there and participate and get chances to win awesome prizes.
We all have an opinion.
Well, an AMX with WGL camo, actually.
That's it, the AMX 1375, I want to say, but that's wrong. It's 30, I don't know, I'm not good with that.
57F.
57, that's it, 57. 75, 57, it's always the way round. I actually made that mistake at the end of Best Replays of the Week. And I said, I want to play my AMX 1375, and it's the wrong way round. Anyway, let's go into the next battle, because I'm sure that's what you guys are here to see. Can Navi take the third place, or are they going to be stuck in fourth? Will it be an embarrassment, or will it be as we expect? So, there's only one group of people that can tell us exactly what's going on, and that is Oliver and Lauren.
Thank you guys on the desk, and we had some colourful language, we've had some colourful predictions. It's all once again in favour to Navi, so no surprises there, but what are your thoughts? Because so far you've been the one who's right.
Yeah, I've been the one that's right, I'm sorry to say. I mean, I should go on the analysis desk, as you said, but I think Navi has the clear position to win this one. I mean, let's be honest here, I think against Virtus Pro, NSS definitely struggled wombats now. I think Navi just played a little bit better against Tornado Rocks. So I think if you draw that comparison, Navi should be able to walk away with this one quite convincingly. But I mean, this is a day for surprises. Navi have just come off a devastating loss, let's be honest here. And that's never a good position for you to be in going into your next match.
Yeah, I was on the way out just to grab a cup of coffee after the game, and I saw those guys walking backstage. And they were not happy. You know, they looked okay on stage, they looked calm on stage, but I assure you they were not pleased backstage. There was a lot of strong words going on. So obviously they are not too happy about how it's going down, but I do believe the teams are almost ready. So we can turn our attention to the first map.
Steps, the most open map of the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually unfolds the attacks from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light setups, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
And as much as we teased you about the map, you're not looking at it. That's not actually the map, I promise you. I know it looks similar. It's a crowd of people. We'll be going in game very soon. The teams are just preparing themselves. And we thought, you know, we'd just let you know about the cap circles and exciting things. But still, Steps coming up next. Or coming up now, should I say. What's your prediction of scoreline, actually?
Well, we saw a pretty convincing Wombat's ability on Steps. Let's be honest, a pretty convincing set of rounds for them. So I think, you know, I would say NSF maybe have that experience of having gone through the trials and tribulations of Steps and come out the other side kind of reinvigorated. But I don't know. I think Na'Vi just have so many tricks up their bag, and also just the ability to say, okay, look, we lost that first match devastatingly. Let's get ourselves sorted, and at least we can, you know, keep ourselves on the same kind of track we were in the grand finals, where they also got 3rd place. See, but the thing is that, in my eyes, if I was Na'Vi and I messed up that bad, you don't bounce back this quickly. Like, you know, it's all good and well saying it, and we can theorize. You'll be annoyed. You'll be pissed, and even as an individual, you'll be frustrated at this. So there is possible issues that could face them, and we are seeing that T-54 straight line here. And I do like the Na'Vi camo, to be fair. I think it looks very cool. Whether or not they can put those tanks to any good use, we're yet to find out. And there is one man keeping tabs up above here. Sharp doing what he can to keep track of the opponents. Yeah, it's a great position from Lev Shah. We've seen it a few times before. They're just rolling out. Look at these guys. He's going to go straight across. He will undoubtedly die, but this is going to be a big engagement here for Na'Vi. Yeah, Bale's just going to get wiped off the map there, decimated in one, and Na'Vi are just going wild. They're just like, all right, let's just play our own game. The rounds we won and when we went aggressive, let's just keep that up. Let's just be that team. 6k HP left on them, the same with NSS. And already Na'Vi going to be taking over that northern side, going to be piling down towards those T-54s. Kiri Lloyd, Strike, and Anatolish all leading the way here. Evil Shotnik, excuse me, on the receiving end, as we will be seeing this fairly polarized here. Yeah, Na'Vi's just going to be able to really do some damage against NSS. They're in such a bad position. Na'Vi can just peek. The only thing NSS got going for them is the 2 T-54s back behind, but Slide is on the side with the RU-251. He can just get side shots, so it's not like Singash or Evil Granny can actually peek over those railroads. So Na'Vi might just want to, you know, take one of these 2 tanks out anytime now. Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to push over. That's the thing I'm excited for, is just seeing when do they want to go for this. Because they have the upper hand here, and as you said, Slide was the man in a great spot earlier on. He was the one able to get those side shots on consistently. However, you can see on the other side of the matter, I think that was Levanta just trying to do some work, but Evil's going to be in a bit of a problem here. And this is the thing, that NSS are just, where can they go? What can they do? They can try and take the fight maybe, but they're outnumbered. There's no easy way out here. Rhino's taking a little bit of damage, but if Evil does commit any further, look how many tanks are waiting for him. Yeah, Evil just makes a little peek, tries to find Rhino, but actually left Shah with a great play by the MX-12. He's just backing up, making sure Rhino stays alive. That's the most important thing. Na'Vi can't lose a tank in this position. It's still a pretty close game, despite the fact that they are 1 tank ahead here. And you know, I think Na'Vi defensive side can play it pretty calmly. Still got the 251 over towards that right side. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if NSS don't just go for an engagement, go for Rhino straight off the bat. Let's see what they go for. Kiri Lloyd's already going to be tested once. He's going to take down Shotnik, and now the rest of the boys are going to try and fold over here. Just Creative finally joins the ranks, and Levanta does manage to find Inspire, and here we go. Finally, NSS going to try and make their play, but this is just throwing themselves to the wolves. Just Creative is going to be just in ruins here, as the Anatosh will find him as well, and this is just a bloodbath. Na'Vi are low, but look how many tanks they have alive. That's a big thing here. Levanta's on the cleanup mission, but with every shell he delivers, there's one coming back in, and you can see it time and time again. Lev Shah even picking up a kill in the end, as Strike and the Anatolish going to close down round 1. Great play there by Na'Vi. They actually pushed at the same time as NSS, and it was kind of a situation where they were both hitting each other, but Na'Vi had the more HP, their tank alive. They managed to take down Levanta really quick. They managed to take down a few of the other players on NSS. So yeah, I mean, early advantage by Na'Vi with the MX-12T, plus the perfect timing from those T-54s to push over the tracks, plus, you know, good timing on the second attack they did. So yeah, I mean, clearly a good round for Na'Vi, a clear win for them. Yeah, Na'Vi, this is the thing though, when you're playing against someone that you know, you don't have that upper hand surprise element. Tornado Rocks and Na'Vi don't play, you know, within the WGLEU against each other, of course, or any regular occurrence or any regular tournament. It's very different. But then, I don't know, I just feel that Not So Serious could have been closer on paper, considering they've beaten Hellraisers before, which are in theory the better side than Na'Vi if you look at results alone.
you'd assume they could beat Na'Vi here, but they seem further away for me than anything. I feel as though they don't have that chance against Na'Vi, and Na'Vi just don't look that unfaltering. They look confident.
Yeah, and I think Na'Vi, again, they want to be getting minimum 3rd place here. Obviously, 1st place is what they're going to go for, but it's a single elimination bracket, so you know, if you lose one round, you got to keep some pride, some good results. I mean, they're the 1st team in the world still in the global rankings, and if they get 3rd, they will probably keep that space, that place. So, yeah, I mean, big plays for both teams. NSS have a chance. I mean, the biggest thing they got going for them is that they've played Na'Vi plenty of times in the training, as they said in the pre-game interview. So they know what Na'Vi likes. You know, they know how they play. They know the kind of tactics they have in their notebooks. So they can definitely work with that.
Yeah, and while we wait for the teams to get themselves ready, you of course can see not so serious on your screen. Looking like they may be getting a lot more used to the stage. Of course, this is their first event coming into this one. Not so, I guess, used to a stage of this caliber. They're just kind of learning the ropes themselves, up against the pure veterans Na'Vi. And as you can see, just Na'Vi going for that first play, just very aggressive, very decisive, and not looking too cautious, to say the very least. And they didn't really stop there towards the end here, with the commitment coming out, both teams pushing at the same time, but Na'Vi just having superior numbers. Yeah,
exactly. They had the superior numbers. I mean, it's a spreadsheet game at that point when you're 1 tank ahead. Some dubious play by Na'Vi in terms of the focus fire they had there, but they got it done. They had the job well and truly secured at the end of that round. So we're going to be in the 2nd round anytime now. Na'Vi again on the defensive side. But it's like Wombats, you know. Na'Vi, when they see an opportunity to go aggressive, they go aggressive. And like Wombats as well, they had the full T54 lineup, and it certainly worked in their favor. I think Na'Vi's expecting NSS to go aggressive in one of these rounds. You could see that they had the T54s at the beginning pointed towards the trench, which is just not a usual place you expect the T54s to be aiming unless they're expecting a full-on push from NSS. So maybe you'll get to see that in the next round.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's taking these guys so long. I think they are almost in the battle. There we go. We are almost ready. Once again, apologies, guys. We aren't the ones delaying. We are just waiting on the teams to get themselves ready for that next round. Before you say it's our fault, I promise you it's not. But I do believe the teams are ready now, finally. No longer waiting. Cameraman does find the logo as we are now. Seconds away, we can get ourselves into game, hopefully, and stop looking at the Na'Vi logo and look at the team themselves. And we are into this one. So the T54s once again coming out for NSS. On the other side for Na'Vi, the T32s.
Yeah, double T32, so maybe going back to basics, back to their roots with the double T32. Just going to put it into a normal position in B7, B6. And, well, NSS just maybe just being aggressive, getting spotted straight away, though. Both those, both the WZ131 and the T54 Lightweight gets quite a lot of damage going towards them, and NSS has to try and turn their tails and scamper the other way.
Yeah, Na'Vi seeming fairly away. You said before they were keeping their eyes towards that trench side at the very start, maybe expecting some of this aggressive play, and it's certainly come to, well, to fruition, really. They already have that player boosted up towards that 0 line, or at least in position towards 0, be able to look over the trenches and make that 2nd place cap extraordinarily hard. But the only person who wasn't in that stack or in that fold was Levanta. Now, that wasn't bad, but now he's in a bit of a vulnerable spot. His team's pretty far away, and he's out on a limb here.
Yeah, he is. I think that move from NSS was just purely, okay, so maybe Na'Vi's going to go aggressive up towards the northern area. They didn't. And, well, you can see NSS lost about 800, maybe 1,000 hit points, maybe a little bit less. But, yeah, I mean, definitely not a great way to start a battle, having a few tanks on low HP or at least, you know, losing half HP. So Na'Vi's in a very comfortable position. You can see NSS defaulting to something they know. Northern cap number 1, and leaving the WZ131 to try and keep up the rear, keep up the flank, making sure that Na'Vi doesn't sneak around from there. So, yeah, I think the cap's the next move for NSS. Maybe even just continue this aggressive movement, just push straight through A4, A5, and into the trench area onto the T32s.
Options are plenty at this point. That T54 lineup allows them so much versatility here. Let's see if they can utilize it. As Beowulf will be the one to get himself into Pord's position. Last time we saw him being a huge factor for NSS in their first game. Sadly to no avail, but yet still, he was a massive player for them. And we are seeing him have a little eye across towards a drastic stack of Na'Vi, but Na'Vi not really going for anything here, playing very standardized themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is a standard battle if we've ever seen it. I mean, double T32, just sitting there. You got the T54s as well. You got a T54 over towards the right side. Just blind shots coming out. Na'Vi have got the early damage. Sneegash is in the cap. You got Evil Granny and Beowulf just trying to keep the T32s and the T54 lightweights at bay, putting a bit of pressure on them. But again, Lev shot in that MX-12T in that bush position. He can just poke over, and as long as Inspire is not on a one-shot, he will be able to land the shell and get the reset, or at least scare Sneegash off the cap.
Fair bit of time on the cap still. No real need to commit yet for LevShot. And Inspire is still letting those shots fly, of course. He can just keep that up all day long, pretty much. 60 seconds to go. Not a lot of damage done either, actually, going backwards and forwards. 7k still with NSS. Na'Vi still on 7.6. Those T32s bolstering that HP number-wise. Outside that, only Evil and Snig receiving a little bit of damage, and Medived, actually, tell a lie, and Atolish, Kiriloid, and Inspire on the other side. But here we go. This is what we were expecting. Just a couple of peaks coming through, and actually, big deny coming out very early on there. Yeah, that was pretty aggressive for Nesha. He can just peek over there, but he goes for the full commitment. Obviously, you know, the 12T not particularly great on the camo, on the view range even. But, I mean, this is exactly the same kind of style NSS played against Wombats in that first round. Just super slow, trying to get the objectives. And, you know, Wombats decided to just push over towards A6 and take out the two tanks of Evil Granny and Beowulf. See if Na'Vi wants to do that, even though there's not really any reason to do so, apart from the fact maybe that LevShah is dead. So NSS has a pretty easy opportunity to cap. But again, Sneegash is pretty much on a one-shot. So if one of those shells just connect into the side or front of him, he will be going down. And with him, the last chance for NSS to win this game. You can see shot Nick looking for an angle then. Not going to find much. And as you said, there needs to be a reason for Na'Vi to make the play more than anything. They still have the HP advantage. As you mentioned, there, you know, one player being down, LevShah, might encourage them to be a little bit more proactive just in case that cap gets out of hand. But I don't think they particularly need it at the moment, as it does seem as though Na'Vi are holding this well. 60 seconds left. This is a very much a standoff game, and no one's taking risks here. 2 minutes left on the clock, caps on the way. Double T32 with the 90mm will just be spamming, trying to land some shells, but Reno going forward does receive some damage, but some goes back towards NSS, and that obviously caused NSS to scamper away from the cap. And, you know, to be honest, 1 minute and 45 seconds, they only have maybe one more opportunity with two tanks in there to start that cap up once again. And definitely the slowest round of this season. And yeah, those two T54s again in those blind shots positions, but Medived is there as well. Yeah, Medived trying to find something. I think that WZ131 joined him earlier on, but maybe looking for an angle of a way in just to try and alleviate some of the pressure from that northern camp. But this is a very slow round and very calculated, I can imagine. But thus far, it's really not equated to much. It's just been slow and steady. Doesn't really get you the cap more than anything. 18 seconds left on this though. We might have to see the commitment from Na'Vi coming out sooner rather than later, and Beowulf just going to throw himself to the wolves, and I'm not sure what on earth he's doing, trying to maybe buy time, trying to maybe slow them down, but really he just fed the fuel. Just fuel to the fire at the moment, and we are seeing the shots coming in towards the cap. Na'Vi slowly but surely playing their hand. Kiriloid wakes up, decides to take these shots. Inspire is there, and one by one, NSS is just falling. Yeah, NSS just down a tank, and Na'Vi have more HP, but you can see the attack is coming from the flank from those T54s, so NSS did have an idea to put pressure on the cap and then come from a different side when Na'Vi was forced to move in to get the decap, but still those T32s are just unfallible. No, they're really staying alive well here. Kiriloid a little low, but they're still getting the kills in. Inspires there, strikes there. Kiriloid still staying up. Levandra's going to be kicking himself. He should be able to take down Kiriloid, but oh, beautiful work from Strike, even denying that. And this is just going to be sheer nuisance more than anything. NSS not being able to close out anything here, as the final kills do get exchanged. It's Na'Vi to claim. Yeah, second round on the board for Na'Vi, both defensive rounds, and you can see a difference, almost black and white difference between Na'Vi in this matchup compared to their previous one. They are hitting the shells, they're not panicking, they're doing what they need to do, and they're getting it done. 2 rounds, 2 solid rounds, not panicking in a situation when they were under pressure, when NSS was coming in the cap and also coming from a different angle. So yeah, good stuff from them. The thing is, just Na'Vi don't look phased at all, and NSS ran out of ideas. They ran out of time as well, let's remember. Let's not forget that factor, as NSS now need to think about what they're going to be doing here, as it does seem as though Na'Vi getting back into the swing of things, looking like they're heading towards that third place, but it's, you know, there's still another map to go. Things can still change. I wouldn't write it out just yet. Na'Vi can be quite the dangerous side, but so far they haven't really been tested.
No, this is easy stuff for Na'Vi. I think there was a couple of points there where NSS could have won it. But once Levshar made that commitment across the tracks, that basically cancelled NSS's ability to get a cap completed. And double T32 for Na'Vi. It's going to be hard for NSS just to win against that full stop if they do go for the cap. So I think they should have probably gone for something else. Artillery, maybe switch up their picks a little bit. So there's a lot of things NSS could have done differently. Inspire there, of course, with the T32. Both T32s, in fact, doing great work. 2,000 damage apiece and a lot of shells fired.
Yeah, not too surprising considering how long that game was going on for. It was just, you know, Na'Vi shell by shell working them down. And this is the slowest game I think we had of the entire day. I'm trying to think back. Actually, no, there was probably one of mine's actually. But that was quite exciting, the 1v2. But still, very, very slow stuff coming out. Maybe NSS just, no one wants to finish last. Out of 4, it's never fun to finish 4th. But still, it's certainly found some more classic tanks pace, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think, well, NSS and Wombats, as I said at the beginning, was exactly that kind of round, very slow. NSS trying one thing at a time with a kind of 1.5 minute break between each one, and then all systematically failing one after another. So yeah, I think maybe NSS going on the defensive side now will just be wanting to play that against Na'Vi. But we saw in the first round at least that Na'Vi does have things in the bag which are different, and I imagine they have the same kind of thing going when they are on the attack.
I hope so. I just want to see something more from NSS, if I'm honest. They've shown they had skill in the first game. They had some individual talent, but we've not seen anything here. They're just laying back and letting Na'Vi have their way with them. Kind of hoping they'd at least give a little more than this, but not what we expected regardless. Everything's falling apart. And it's 2-0 in favour to Na'Vi. We are back underway once again into the fray as Na'Vi picking up 3 IS-3s here. Yeah,
3 IS-3s. So I guess the right side will be where they're going. We see 2 IS-3s a lot in the first season.
Yeah.
3 is a bit different, but also to be expected in some respects. And you can see NSS is 100% aware of where Na'Vi wants to head. But Na'Vi's changing things up a little bit with the kind of a crossfield flank.
Yeah, 3 players heading that way. I'm curious how only 2 shells are connected during that entire time, but this might be just lambs to the slaughter here. Slide's going to be melted down to 185 HP, 1 more shell, make it 2 maybe. He'll be down. Strike does find just creative, but this is not ideal. This is a 1-for-1 trade, make it 2-for-1 trade here. Na'Vi just about keeping this close, but this is a dangerous game. This is a little different from the first half, to say at the very least. They've decided to find that W key on their keyboard and go for it. Strike, though, starting to clean up. That's 2 kills already into this round for him. Looking for that 3rd one on the board for his side as they are closing in towards those 4 remaining players for NSS as they carry away towards that 2nd cap.
Yeah, those IS-3s, they had a very short amount of distance to travel to actually take down a tank, so you just put a couple of them towards that tank, you put it with a T-54 lightweight, and it's game over. So Na'Vi, good forward momentum. They're just going to be searching and destroying.
It might take a while, those IS-3s. Oh, Kyriloid's going to make the travel time up at least by letting a shell fly. Not going to get much more than that, though. Going to tuck themselves in towards that eastern side and get that cap started, maybe push through. Kyriloid's going to find himself at home, hunkered down, and say to NSS, all right, you come to us. Let's see how well you do, and you have to play towards us here.
I would have loved to see Na'Vi versus Tornado Rocks on this map, because I really like the way Na'Vi's playing. They're making the right decisions, they're hitting their shells, they're being patient. Double IS-3 in the cap. I mean, this is just hard to unroot if it was just the 3 IS-3s, let alone those T-54s that are sitting in the background on Levshar and the MX-12T. Yeah,
Shonik's found out that route just isn't really available as Levshar sends him away a little bit, but he might make a last-minute play towards this as Snish and Evil Granny up towards the other side. Are going to have to make the play. 2 seconds left on this cap. There we go. Finally, the 2-5 bomb will deliver a shot, but it's back counting down again. And look at that damage. Inspire will claim the kill, but it was all 3 doing the work as Shotnik now going to be pestered by Levshar in the background. Not a great deal of damage, but certainly enough.
Yeah, Levshar is just an absolute beast. One of the highlights for me of the Russian season was when he was playing the MX-12T, almost took down an IS-3 in his own. So don't underestimate that little French tank, but Shotnik will take care of him. But you can see the rest of the Na'Vi tanks just pushing him wanting to take down that T54 while Inspire and Reno in the 2 IS3s just sit in the cap and let the NSS guys push onto them.
Exactly that. They've just flipped the switch, saying, all right, we'll be the defenders essentially. You can attack us as we now have the time on our side. Leaving in the 2 hands of, well, the RU-251, that T54 lightweight, Evil, and Medved just standing in this. The IS3s are starting to even look for the chase.
But the problem is the IS3s are super slow now. So, you know, Na'Vi on the attack, they have a good, you know, the NSS has a good chance just to run away. One does go down, so it's only on Evil Granny to run away, and the IS3 might just be fast enough to take him down, as he is a one-shot.
I'm waiting to see if anyone's going to make that shot. There's the first, there's the second. None connecting thus far.
He'll have a couple more chances.
Yeah, here we go, cresting the hill. Got to be cautious here. This could be over very quick. Nice work there, just baiting out the shot. He knows there's another in the tank. There we go. That will find its place. And Na'Vi gonna keep up where they started. That's 3 now on the board for them.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a 4-0. I mean, such solid play there from Na'Vi. I think the interesting move there from NSS was that they pushed onto Na'Vi with the 3 T54s pushing, but then they kind of stopped. Like, this is the thing against when they play against Wombat. They had the right positions to push, but it simply didn't actually go and take the opportunities. So, I mean, big mistakes from NSS. I think they should have carried on, took down those T54s of Na'Vi, and then, yeah, okay, they have to worry about the IS3s, but at least it's only the IS3s you have to worry about. You can put a 251 or a T54 lightweight on the other side of the map and just have them snipe the IS3s on the back or the side. So, again, I think this is the tentative nature of NSS that's really going to punish them.
I guess if you come into this and you've played in the Russian League with Na'Vi for so long, you're fully aware of what these guys can achieve and who they are and how they play. You're well aware of that reputation. Whereas a team like Tornado Rocks can kind of come in a little more fresh face to it, but certainly NSS look shaken to their core by this one. And a very condemning scoreline already, just be waiting for what could be the real seal of the deal here for NSS. A 4-0 on this map might just set them up, you know, for a full loss here.
Yeah, I think, you know, 4-0, we didn't see in the regular season a comeback come from that. So we've seen a 4-1 comeback, but 4-0 is just a little bit too steep a hill to climb for even the best of teams, as the other team obviously have 4 chances to win the game. So, in my opinion, NSS need to get the next round on the board. You know, Ruinberg is up next, which is not the greatest map for Na'Vi, at least in the previous round. Yeah. But I think it's again that thing where we haven't seen enough of Na'Vi and Ruinberg for all their cards to have been played, and I think they realized that, you know, their mistakes were pretty obvious and easily fixed. Yeah,
and that's the thing for them. It is, as you said, it's a one-day tournament, so you get people being able to come in and make these surprises happen. So when Na'Vi gets a little shocked in their first game, that basically means third place for them. There's no recovery, there's no lower side, there's no lower bracket, essentially. That's what it is. You know, you get third, well done, that's it. But you've got to hope for their sake, if they have to go into bigger tournaments going forward, and they don't have these issues, basically. They need to be able to kind of resolve that faster than anything. As already, once again, waiting on those teams to make those selections, get the lock-ins ready. We'll get this one started.
Yeah, just having a look at these tanks, as we do have some time, you can see, well, we have Lev Shah and Strike for those 2 players to get ready. But looking at this, I mean, another defensive round here for NSS, T54s, T32, WZ131s, you know, pretty standard stuff from them. Interesting enough, though, the E25 coming up from Lev Shah, that's the first time I've seen it, for me at least. I think I might have seen it once or twice in other regions, but yeah, I mean, E25, super fast firing gun. I mean, everyone knows E25. It was taken off the shot because it's pretty damn strong. Great camo value. It was even nerfed because the camo value was so good. Like, you could be within 50 meters of an E25, which is the borderline where you go from being spotted to being spotted by default, you know, proxy spotted. So, I mean, it's a truly formidable tank, and penetration is not great, but it will slice its way through a T54.
Alrighty, so it does seem as though we are ready to get into the battle. No more waiting. We can find out how this map closes down. Will it be a 3-1 or a 4-0? We're about to find out. Na'Vi on the verge. Again, a very clean game started up for these boys. And there we have it. We are into this. The double T32 coming out to play for NSS. On the other side, the IS3s And that E25, as you mentioned.
Yeah, really, really looking forward to that E25. It's one of my favorite tanks. I'm really bad at tank destroyers, even though it was actually the first line I ever grinded in World Tanks up to the ISU 152. But yeah, I mean, it's a super good tank. Super interested to see how Na'Vi wants to use it. It's a real shame that they don't really get a proper stage to kind of flaunt their new tactic on. But Left Shark going forwards, he's obviously the team captain, the shot caller for Na'Vi, and he's going to find a bush.
Well, Shark going to hunker down. He's been spotted though, so this could be real trouble. Very close range here. He lit up. He's the least of their worries right now as the Anatolish and Slide are both staring them down. This is reminiscent of what we saw from Team Dignitas back in the day, putting Applewell up in positions like this and feeding them into it. The IS3s are slowly catching up. This is going to be real trouble. Sure, Shotnik took down Levshar, but these two should be able to do the damage, and finally the backup has arrived. Now you're seeing these 3 kills come in. This is something we've seen season ago coming out now, as Shotnik just feeds himself into this. It looks like NSS just won this round over.
I mean, this individual play from Slide is fantastic. He just got a kill. He had to concentrate on the kill, but at the same time he blocks for Anatolic. That's just like unbelievable. Just 2 things at the same time. I mean, come on, it's just incredible stuff for them. But the IS3s are there in support for Na'Vi, so they got plenty of damage and they got plenty of tanks to do it on.
Yeah, Shotnik's just, it's a matter of time. Look at this guy, he's surrounded on every single front. Inspire is the one to claim it, but it was done by the likes of Rhino and by the likes of Strike up there, and that was just beautifully done. But now 3 tanks remaining. Beowulf, Just Creative, and Levanta are kind of nowhere. What can you do here? You've pretty much got a whole squad up against you. 4.8k HP against 3.2. Sure, they're not saying too bad, but it's because of those T-32s. That's the reason. You can see the window mode play coming in. Enjoying that one. It's always good to see how people like to play. Levanta going for that one. He's really looking for the shot, but it's an uphill struggle for these boys now.
Yeah, we're entering into the kind of domain where NSS has really no chance to come back from. 2,000 hit points behind almost, and, well, too much work to do. Strike just dancing his way across the map in that WZ131, and Slide at the same time taking advantage of the fact that Just Creative wasn't aiming towards him because he was aiming at Strike. So there's a lot of different adaptations for Na'Vi. They're pushing forwards as IS3s very slow across the slightly softer ground. Yeah,
they certainly are. So it'll be a little while for the close here, but they will probably get there. As look at Rhino, straight away spots out Beowulf. He gets just destroyed off the map as Just Creative is in front, but look, Inspire is getting there. Rhino's there, Kiriloid not far away, and now he's a one-shot. Comfortable work for Inspire as Levanta now left to be terrified in the corner. They are on the defending side, but look at that, Kiriloid just catches him in the heels, and Na'Vi close it down. Clean map coming in.
Yeah, 4-0 now scoreline for Na'Vi, moving into Ruinberg. I mean, this is game over, let's be honest here. I mean, there's really no comeback here for NSS without Na'Vi just messing up like they'd never messed up before. So a pretty convincing 4 rounds as well. I mean, this first or second round, I believe NSS, when they were playing along those railroads, had a chance of winning.
Yes.
But apart from that, I would say that's a really one-sided map.
And I'd only say that NSS looked better up against Wombats in their first game of the day. They were fighting more. You know, they seem to have more of a plan, but at the moment they just look they're crushed under Na'Vi's pressure. I don't know what it is that some teams are able to get over the fact that they're playing against Na'Vi. Others just seem to fall to pieces. I guess that they have to deal with the idea of Na'Vi on such a regular basis, but still, I'm a little disappointed in NSS personally.
Yeah,
I wanted to see more from them.
I really did. I mean, let's be honest here, NSS is not an aggressive team, or they're not in this tournament, but at least when they were getting pushed on against Wombats, they were doing slightly better.
Yeah, and considering this was the team that took down Hellraisers, you've got to ask the question, how did they manage that if they can't manage around against Na'Vi? Na'Vi are great, they're a phenomenal side, but NSS just really shying away from the limelight here. But I think we've been very, very close to the action. I kind of want to find out how the external perspective's gone down on the analysis desk.
Well, clearly NSS wants to give Na'Vi a lead, a head start, to make them feel comfortable. I mean, it's the tactic that was just used against Na'Vi to make them lose in the previous game, make them relax, and then you can take advantage of it, right? Right? That must be what's going on.
That's what we hope for, hopefully. I don't want this to buy 5-0. I want this actually to NSS to take some rounds and make it interesting. Because I feel bad for them when you're 4-0 down on a LAN. It doesn't feel good.
But I highly doubt that they will pick up a map. Like, they are really demotivated now. Like, probably they don't care anymore. They're 4-0 down. I don't think they will win any more maps.
So we can have a look at the action of how it's been playing out, but most battles are playing the same way. We had an E25 in the battle, and this is how they're all playing out. Take us through.
Well, they did the same thing twice on defense, where they pushed down with all their lights, and because Na'Vi has 3 IS-3s, they tried to push over and kill the lights before the IS-3s came there, but it just took them too long to kill those lights. And then here Beowulf just gets incinerated. He just gets blown up instantly. Just a bad push. They didn't manage to kill the lights before the IS-3s came. The IS-3s came and just cleaned up. And this push is textbook what you don't do. Because Evil Granny has to, there's a little hill there, like a little ridge that you have to drive over, and you just drive into the crossfire, and you see the IS-3s are almost there when they're almost, they only just reached the lights of Na'Vi, and the IS-3s are already there to receive them.
Yeah, they have perfect crossfire, 3 IS-3s, and then Anatolic and Slide on the side. There was nothing NSS could do, and it was really stupid from them to actually push into there. But that's what I think was because they're 3-0 down, they don't care anymore. So let's just YOLO and end this quick. I think that's their mindset right now.
You think they've gone full tilt? They're going like, you know what, we've just been beaten, humiliated, so let's just, push down W, keep driving, and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
I mean, Rusty experienced it.
Ooh. Yeah, it's true. Like, we lost versus Elong on Grand Finals, and then versus Na'Vi, we didn't want to play this match. We just wanted it to be over.
Don't worry, Ruster, I've been there as well.
Well, let's see if it is exactly what's going down, because I think they're ready. And we're going to see if NSS are literally pressing and holding the W key very shortly. Lauren and Ollie, what's happening?
Well, it's going to be pretty devastating to NSS so far. How many rounds have they picked up overall this tournament?
They took 2 against Wombats.
So 2 rounds. Let's see if they can make it more than 2 overall. In 2 games, that's not great.
Yeah.
So I hope for their sake they get it going. But, we'll be jumping into the second map as soon as the teams are ready. That's what we're waiting for once again. I don't know. This is the thing. It's hard to predict a player's mindset going into this. It's very much a team game. You don't know what the team mentality is like. They could be struggling to stay focused by this point, just getting frustrated internally. If this is one of their first events in this sort of environment, this could be a very hard atmosphere for them.
A super impossible atmosphere. At least Na'Vi has like 4 years of offline experience to fall back on and say, okay, we lost, but we can bounce back.
Well, guys, I think we are ready for map number 2. Let's get it rolling.
Ruinberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the central square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
We are live into the match now. Time to roll out. As you can hear, time to roll out. Ruinberg coming up now. Na'Vi on the attack, NSS on the defense. What do we make of these 2 lineups?
Well, what do we make of NSS right now? I think they're just going to push straight in across the middle. I mean, you can see the T54's just heading down towards A6. Actually, the IS-3 is heading over towards that right side. But, I mean, same kind of lineup Na'Vi used against Tornado Rocks in that previous matchup. And, of course, only worked out once, so I don't know. And they didn't even actually win any attacking rounds, to be fair. They only won 1 defensive round, so it didn't work out at all. But, yeah, Na'Vi splitting their forces, IS-3 5100 in the middle, and maybe this is like a proof of concept for Na'Vi, They're playing against a Gold Series team, a very good team indeed. Yeah. And they're going to be using the same tactic. And if it works, they can at least say that it does work, and it's probably down to the individual player kind of performance on the day that lost in the round.
Yeah, I see the logic completely. So Slide this time not going to have that freedom they had before. Going to be caught up there. I believe that was by Evil. Now T54 going to be sending him back a little bit. Beowulf and him heading forward, and Slide has been actually pretty outstanding for his team, but the rest not quite finding the same form, and Slide going to be looking for an opportunity here. And those T54 lightweights were heading that direction. I just don't know if he's going to be able to find them at this point. Expecting maybe a little bit of a peak to come round, but while this happens, on that eastern village, Na'Vi are moving up.
Yeah, Na'Vi just surging straight across. I mean, they had the opportunity because they weren't spotted in that eastern village, and Shotnik is the first in the chopping board.
Yeah, Shotnik's really in trouble. Look at that. 4 tanks melting him down. Lushar took a little bit, but stays alive, which is more impressive than anything. And there's, I believe, that is Slide himself, the man that we've been talking constantly about. Look at that player. He's hitting shot after shot. There's 3 tanks coming his way. If he can get this on the move as well, that's going to be beautiful. Already predicting Where these tanks are coming from, one more shot to be made, but now he is drastically outnumbered. Tanks left, right, and center. Going to switch towards the left, hits the next shot. I don't think he's missed a shot this entire tournament, but that's not the point. Beowulf will take him down, open up that city side, but by now, NSS are starting to trail in numbers.
Yeah, but you know, they're not that far in terms of HP, and they're not in terms of numbers either. Leshan at 237 goes down. It's only a tier 6, but still a big factor of Na'Vi's gameplay. Na'Vi back ahead in terms of hit points, and Rhino in trouble. Yeah, he really is. Rhino's going to have to back out of this one. Evil, Levanta, all looking for the opportunity to take him down, but tries to set up the rest of the team, but is Levanta take him? And it looks like maybe NSS can pick up a round here. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Let's bear in mind, there is still a lot of players left alive. But those T-54s, joined by that IS-3, are looking to do the damage here. Yeah, Kiriloid and Medived having a little 1-versus-1 in the middle, actually towards that northern side, and of course Kiriloid will probably fall in the next volley unless he does a miracle. Kiriloid needs to play out of his mind. He's not going to have that chance. Medived will put him to bed, as now Na'Vi down to 3 players, and it's the Anatolish bolstering those numbers, staying very healthy in that IS-3. He's joined by Strike, but I doubt they can achieve much here. That 3090 is on reload, and the Anatolish trying to keep him alive, trying to save him. But Strike knows his days are numbered, and you can see them working together as best they can, trying to fend off the Wolves as Evil is just staring them down. The block's not going to come out perfectly. Strike gets hit. The Anatolish sends Evil away, but by this point, there's 3 tanks still alive. And Strike actually has his Amarak down, so he's got a 50-second reload. It doubles your reload, and maybe if his Amarak wasn't down, there's a chance as the Anatolic does get one. But the other two are going to be so hard. Yeah, Medived going to focus down towards Strike straight away, pick that shot up, set Evil up for this one, and the Anatolish fought well, fought bravely, but it's a highly unlikely chance he closes it down. And there we go. It will be NSS picking up the round, so maybe saving a little bit of face here. Yeah, 3rd round on the board. You can see the boys at NSS are like, yeah, buddy, we won round against Na'Vi. Maybe a little bit of sarcasm coming from those lads, but let's be honest here. If I was Na'Vi, I'd be pretty annoyed because you lost with that tactic against Tornado Rocks, and then you lost again. You might be thinking, well, are we actually good on Ruinberg? Can we actually win anything on Ruinberg? Yeah. And maybe actually the next 3 rounds will go the way of NSS just because of that. Maybe. See, the thing is that I feel that if you're Na'Vi at this point, you will just tilt so hard if you get frustrated. That's the thing. If you get annoyed at this point, there's so much to lose. And even though, you know, Ruster at this point would be feeding, you know, just YOLOing in, you know, NSS are still fighting. That's probably why they're here and his team isn't. So I guess that's how it works. But Na'Vi, you know, what does it take to make them tilt? Is there a chance for them to ever tilt? I don't know. It's hard to doubt them. They've got so much experience. I'm not sure. It's really hard to call with Na'Vi if they actually do tilt. I mean, Tornado played very well in that previous matchup, and Na'Vi played badly on an individual level from the get-go. So I think Na'Vi can tilt, but it's hard to say in a single elimination bracket, you know, when you only get to see one best of 9. Evil grinding there in T-54 lightweight, good job by Medived. Having Kiriloid to himself and the IS-3 definitely helped him to get that 1.8k damage. And yeah, Reno and Levshar not really doing that much damage. But yeah, it has to be said, you know, Levshar has an excuse because he's a shot caller and he's always playing the tier 6s. To not do like an overwhelming amount of damage. It's not his focus to do the damage. But the rest of them don't, and they're still not performing. And one more point I have to make is, you know, we had that situation kind of in Season 1 when Karitz wasn't playing up to form because he was doing the in-game leading. He was constantly pinging on the map, and then you just get caught out in the 59-16 in the middle of like Morovanka. I'm wondering if that's the kind of thing that happens to Na'Vi sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd love to hear internally how it goes for those boys, but so I do believe the game is going to be kicking off. There's a lot of theory about them, and maybe a lot of people starting to work out the real works behind the magic for them. But NSS there, you can see them talking through those final moments. They are against match point. Na'Vi, 1 round away from a victory here. 10 seconds left on the countdown. Na'Vi taking those last final moments to focus up, and hopefully we don't see that strategy again. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Na'Vi's got a good opportunity to win this round. I can see they got an IS-3 on the board. 2 IS-3s actually, Reno and the Anatolic. They've got T-54s and an AMX-1390. I don't think those AMX-1390s have been all that useful for them in these last couple of matchups. But yeah, I think Na'Vi just need to push forwards. NSS have got a little bit of wind in their sails now after picking up that round. Yeah, they almost doubled how many rounds they've got during this entire tournament. They're doing wonderfully. But hopefully they can, if they make it 2, brilliant. But Na'Vi,
you always feel like they're on the verge of closing down. Even in the games they lose, you feel it's on the verge of closing down. But let's see what they can bring here. Snoo will be watching the cross. Not going to catch out too much just yet. Does get the spot towards one, at least that slide. Going to line up there, but he's in that T-54. He is cutting through a little early on this one. Trying to get those first shots in, and 4 tanks stacking up. Make it 5, really, with slide there, I guess. Staring down that 0 line.
Yeah, Levshaw's the really only one who can shoot at the moment. Actually, that T-37 doesn't have a particularly good camo value. I think it's actually worse than the T-54 lightweight, but yeah, nothing spotted by slide, nothing spotted by Levshaw, so Na'Vi not going for it. They're under no illusion that probably NSS is sticking themselves behind some buildings slightly further down that 0 line, and they can't push because they go into an AMX-5200 and IS-3. So Na'Vi coming from a different angle with those light tanks. The 2 IS-3s in the middle, so they've got to kind of focus around that, and they leave the T-54 lightweight to make sure that it can actually keep those IS-3s safe.
Yep, duties abound. T-54's on the way, heading down towards the city. You're seeing those IS-3s starting to light up on that crescent moon line. And IS-3 going to try and peek a little shot here. Does not get the connection wanted. Back again. IS-3s are slowly closing in. There is Reno there. The Vanta does get one on the cross, but it doesn't actually connect. He might be considering where these shots are coming from, but the Anatolish and Reno going to try and do it, but the Vanta going to be heading straight into this, and they're just taking so much damage. What on earth is this? Reno can back away, and the Anatolish is helping out, but look on the flank as well. It looks like NSS are trying to get into this one. Yeah,
NSS just going super aggressive. They might actually fail to find slide, and if slide falls, it will be the other IS-3s to fall shortly afterwards. So this could be bad news for Na'Vi. You can see the MX-3090s and light tanks are surging up north into the camp.
And here we go, Beowulf will find slide, and Na'Vi are getting pushed around, but NSS starting to just dwindle a little on the HP, but Reno could go down here. Who's going to have that reload first? It looks like maybe Creative will have it. No, oh, it is Creative to take down Rhino, as the Anatolish now is surrounded. 4 players circling in, but where is the rest of Na'Vi? All towards the north. And you can see, I think it's Strike there just holding that cross, as Evil going to try and make it through. Just Creative, Beowulf all heading up there. 13 seconds on the capital of Shah is just holding them back here. That T-37 tucking itself into the corner. And this is going to be a very tough one. Evil's going to be there in time and truly get the damage. Oh! Stunning shot, denying that one. But the reset has come in. Yeah, and there's a great little shot there because the T-54 Wreck is actually going to provide some... And another. Some camo and some blocking ability. So Na'Vi gets the kills, they go back and they have time to actually kill all the tanks of NSS now. Yeah, 3 tanks left standing. Medved as well, taking a lot of damage there on the way through. With Shah on the way out. This guy somehow still alive on nothing. He's going to try and make a run for it. A mad dash as they are getting some good damage on the way out of this. Yeah, they're really doing some good work, and you know the player ability of Na'Vi is exceptional. You can see it coming into its own right now. 3 tanks alive for NSS, 1,500, let's say, HP for them. 4,000, 3,600 now for Na'Vi. They're clearly in the lead, and now even further as Leventa does go down. Yeah, it's starting to, like, NSS had a chance. They had an opportunity to do something. Now it's starting to fall away. Medved and Shotnik know their chances are starting to dwindle here. And Na'Vi have so many tanks alive, so much to work with. It's got to be depressing at this point, I've got to say it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they are on the verge of coming last place in this, which is not to be unexpected, as Medved needs a medevac as he's down to a 1 shot on the IS-3. Does get himself safe, but I think he's already blown one of those repair kits. Yeah, and Shah will put Shotnik out of his misery as Medved is going to be waiting for that medevac, as Ollie delightfully put it. And now with 1 shell to be made, it's going to be put to bed. You can see these boys. Medved's gone down, and Na'Vi going to get themselves into 3rd place. Comfortably. And on the other side of things, NSS shy out in last. I think NSS was always going to be the 4th place team because A, it's not their normal lineup because they have 4 players from replay, so like they haven't had any chance to really practice. Yeah. B, even if the whole NSS lineup was here, they haven't got any experience on LAN, and they're probably the weaker team anyway. So, you know, let's be honest, NSS, unless they provide a real big upset, was going to come 4th place. Na'Vi, though, 3rd place. Unusual. Yeah, that's the biggest surprise here, and I think once we saw how the first 2 games went, we're like, okay, surely this is how that final game's going to pay out. But the big surprise of today wasn't this game by any stretch of the imagination. It's that Na'Vi crumbled under the pressure of Tornado Rocks. But then again, you know, Tornado, did they just prepare for Na'Vi? Did they expect Wombats to be in the final? That's what we got to start talking about. Then that's after the show match as well. But the big point for me is I'm just so curious to see how well, you know, the final goes for Tornado Rocks, because we've seen them being able to beat the likes of Na'Vi, who just comfortably dealt with NSS. So who knows what that really means for us, and we are just going to wait for that final interview coming up. Sean's looking beautiful on stage there, just staring at Na'Vi, beckoning them over, saying, please talk to me, please. But we will be seeing that soon. And not so serious. Well, I think for a first showing towards these sort of international events, it's not bad. They've shown potential, but there's a lot to work on in comparison to the big dogs that we've just seen. So enough of us. Let's hear it from Sean on the stage.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Deluxe, third place. How do you feel?
I'm so sad because it's not our goal. It's not for us.
Now, you were a favorite coming into this. Obviously, you're disappointed. Was this a little bit David and Goliath? You know, these guys, their first land, you guys, the veterans?
Of course, they have the first one, and it was very difficult for whole team, for whole their team, for their captain, because it was his first land. But actually, we just so sad. I don't know what to say.
Well, I have to ask, what do you do after today? What's next for Team Na'Vi? Where do you go with the guys?
I think we will have short rest, and we think we need the time for thinking about the reason of third place, and I think we need a month to did all the work about, and you know, I think we need a month to grow up, and everything will be okay.
Everything will be okay. Deluxe, I have to say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your guys being here. The fans, please, one more time for your third place team, Na'Vi.
Na'Vi indeed. There we are. So Na'Vi taking third place, a big shock for everybody. But I'm not sure they crumbled under the pressure. More like, did they even build themselves up to the pressure? You know, it feels like they were not boiling. You know, they were not at pressure. You know, they didn't perform. They didn't do it. I don't know how else to explain it. They just didn't do. Does that make sense?
Can we talk about the predictions first?
Okay, let's do that. I got the prediction perfectly right. I got 5-4 to NSS, and that's exactly what the result was.
No, just kidding.
I think Melly just wants applause from all of us for being right for once.
Okay, ready?
Thank you so much for like
Melly.
once. I usually curse the teams. That's my problem. That's like a serious problem. Like, it could be on paper, it could be so 100% clear, this team is going to win. As soon as I say, yeah, they're going to win, they lose.
Yeah, didn't you say Na'Vi was going to win against Rocks? I think you did, and they
I
lost.
did, yes.
It's all Melly's fault.
Yes, look, I
Hashtag
even
blame
predicted 5-2 for Na'Vi, and I turned the other way around.
I said 5-0. I think I've got a worse curse. And I also said for NSS. They missed that.
It's okay. It's not on there. But well, Community at Home was also going for Na'Vi in the last one, and of course this one as well. So 85% for Na'Vi versus NSS, and they got it right this time.
So let's talk about the battles for a little bit before we move on to what happens next. So let's roll the replays and just talk through these simple battles, really. They're quite ABC, wasn't they?
Yeah, this is a horrible play from NSS.
We see 150, 100, he was just alone on C0. I don't know what the hell he was doing there. Like, he was totally brain off. And then
I'm surprised they actually managed to win this, as in, really. I don't even know how NSS pulled it off at the end. Well, Strike had a damaged Amarak, which helped, of course.
If he had repaired Amarak, he might have actually had a chance, because at this point he had half his reload, which is full reload with normal Amarak.
He would have 6 shells, and Granny is a one-shot for him. But yeah, NSS tried something inconvenient. They went through the city with a lot of lights, like 3 lights went through the city, and it managed to pay off in the end. They lost the 1500 for free. This is beautiful, though, from Na'Vi. They just penned everything right here. They killed the first guy coming around the corner. Beowulf is next. I didn't think they would win this, and then they just run away. And NSS is like, oh, okay. So they killed 2 T-54s, run away, just cruising through it.
don't stay beyond your welcome. That's a lot of people who play autoloaders for the first time. That's your big mistake. You got 6 shells, you're in a 5100 or a 1390, and you stay for all 6 shells, exchanging damage for your shells. But in truth, you should go for 2 shots, maybe 3 shots, then back away and use the rest of your shots later. I think it's a very common mistake for people with autoloaders to think, well, I've got to get all my shots off so I can get back on reload, then I'll hide. When in reality, it should be like, shoot, kill the target you want to go for, as soon as they look at you, back away. That's your job. I like to tell people that the 5100 is less of a sniper and more of a brawler, a supporting brawler. It's got a lot of HP. Maybe not that much armor, but a lot of HP.
Well, it's a thing that's meant to go around the map and do a few shots here and there. Nobody says the only time you should do your 6 shells is when you're fighting another 5100. That's the only time.
Or you're on a brawl in general. Like if you're in a direct team fight, then you have to hit all 6 shells.
But for example, on Himmelsdorf with the 5100, you have the possibility to go here, do 1 or 2 shots, take none in return, for example, go away, go to the other flank, do 1 or 2 shots and do the same thing.
It takes some experience to play safe. You cannot always like land shots with 5100. That's why you have the IS-3. IS-3 has good armor, especially good turret armor. So if you want a tank that is taking like shots, side scraping somewhere, making 1 shot here, 1 shot there, then you actually need an IS-3. As 5100, you need to have the patience to
or
stay
you recruit
safe.
Power Slide.
Or that, Power Slide might be an exception, but a normal 5100 player needs to have patience and needs to have map knowledge and battlefield awareness, where he can go in, where he can make most shots, as many shots as possible, and be as effective as possible. It's take a lot of experience.
Well, there you go. There's some advice for you guys at home for playing just normal, random battles, not just team battle. This is how you play a tank. These skills can be applied to random as well as in the team format, strongholds and clan wars. So don't think you can't take nothing away from these battles, because you certainly can. But how's this social media awards going? Do we have another hour yet? Has it been an hour?
It has been an hour. It's almost like the next hour already. But there's still 20 minutes left on that one. For everyone that just tuned in, welcome, of course. And we have a very nice bonus for you guys today. It's our Twitch chat viewer
I still don't believe
giveaway.
it.
Let's say it that way. It's 10k gold, like 10,000 gold for someone that's like productive in Twitch chat. Happens rarely, I know, to be honest. We all know Twitch chat, but our Twitch chat is always super nice, and we want to reward them with show them a little bit of affection. And people, as said, be nice, be polite to each other, help each other out. If someone has a question and doesn't know the game, don't flame. That's not the way it works. Be polite, help them out, and maybe you will be the one lucky guy that wins 10,000 gold. And we do have, as said, our 4th winner.
So we had Attack Penguin.
Exactly.
And
1, 2, 3, 4 game.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4 game and Annihilator 114.
Yes.
Who is the 4th winner?
Oh wow, it's I don't know if I pronounce it correct, but I'll try. Roeny, like R-H-O-E-N-Y. Roeny.
Close enough for me.
Roeny.
I hope the person at home knows.
Well,
it
congratulations, 10,000 in-game goal for you. Please send us a direct message with your in-game name and your email address. Don't spam me, people, please. It's only him winning. But as said, the next winner will be announced in roughly half an hour if those guys let me.
So, Melly, what's happening next?
Oh, that's something very nice. I've been looking forward to this the whole day, and we haven't like properly announced it yet because we wanted to kind of keep it a secret and like be like super bonus for you guys. It's an already communicated show match, of course.
Yep.
And this show match, shall we talk about the rules first and then come to the participants?
Okay, yeah, let's do rules first. The show match is a little bit different, isn't it? It's not what you see in team battles. It's not 754.
Exactly. It's 768. Sorry, I just saw your face. I just saw his face. What is he talking about? They didn't tell me about this. Sorry, it's 768, which means tier 10 tanks are allowed, and we will see our very first tier 10 show match of pro gamers.
Yeah, last year we showed off the 754 format, moving from 742. It's time for evolution, maybe. Let's see how the show match goes first, but we need people to face each other, right? It's not just going to be AI versus AI, so who's it going to be?
It's going to be Natus Vincere on one side for the Russians.
Good.
And for the Europeans, we are allowed to welcome Kazna Crew on our stage to face Na'Vi in the new team battle format.
I'm going to pretend to be the crowd out there and go, yeah, woo! But we're actually really far away from the crowd. So
we can't hear them. I hope that they like the consolation.
Yeah, they didn't get here via winning, unfortunately. They didn't get here by winning, but they did manage to get here anyway.
The last time they faced each other, we already talked about it. It hurt to watch.
Yeah.
To say it at least.
Go on, take us through what happened. Just remind us.
In Warsaw?
yeah, the last time you faced them.
I'm not sure, but I think there was a match where we didn't perform well, but just a theory, not sure.
Okay, just theory.
But that's the perfect grudge match, and I'm really, really looking forward to towards that show match. And people, we want to have your predictions, of course. So head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU. Even you guys in the audience here on site, you're allowed to take part. Take out your mobile phones and surf over to our Facebook page and get involved. Vote for your favorite team. Is it Na'Vi? Is it Kazna Crew? And then predict the exact scoreline for this match. It will be a best of 5, as I heard. Yeah. So it's really important to say that. It means the first one gets to 3 wins. So it's only
got the math right.
3, not 3-3. Look, I messed it up in the second you said it.
So remember,
well
guys,
done. 3-2, 3-1, or 3-0. These are the options. Or 0-3. You know the drill. Predict right, get the chance of winning. One of, let's say, 15 bonus codes for this one.
Okay, sounds about right. So
and the splurgy contest.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So you know it, right? The splurgy contest.
You told me not to mention that word though.
But it's ESLGG/Rumble Raffle. That's our amazing contest where you simply have to sign up with your email address or log in with Facebook. Either way, whatever you like. And maybe you get into our lottery for a Type 59, 5 Type 62s, and 500 times 1,000 gold.
That's a lot of gifts, especially the Type 59, was you said? 59 and 62.
I think I might have to go log in backstage and enter the raffle.
You know what, I was one of these players who was available with the Type 59 was actually on sale, and I was like, you know what, in my Hetzer I can kill the Type 59.
Oh, you regret that.
Right, I can easily kill it in my Hetzer, so there's no point me buying one, right? Because at that point, it was still the big matchmaking. It wasn't just one tier. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm too cool for this. But now they're not available, and I didn't pick it up, and I still don't have a Type 59. So get involved, make sure you get it, and after a short break, we'll be back with the Kazna Crew playing at Tier 10 versus Na'Vi, and I really hope that they might have a chance of scoring at least 1 point. But anyway, you find out after the break.